Hey, this is Ken. You know me on social media as the Modern Samurai, THEMDRN Samurai. I'm kind of all over the place with that. And this video blog, this conversation we're having, is going to be part of a project I call Herdwatching. Now, Herdwatching is a political blog I've had forever, but it was kind of a hobby project, back burner sort of thing. And I'm inspired to put a fair amount more time into it post Donald Trump's win. Now, I had a Donald Trump loses and Donald Trump wins planned for my business and project setup for the next little while. And with the win, herd watching is one of those things that I'm inspired to put time into. So why? Am I just here to gloat or talk about the events of the day? No, not really. Herd watching is more about social commentary in the techniques of social commentary, how social media and narrative building and the techniques of influence and sort of getting your message out influence the conversations we're having. Because social media is changing not only the conversations we're having, but the nature of those discussions. And I think the contentiousness of our recent election shows that. Obviously, these are two highly polarizing candidates in their own right, but the Trump-Clinton election is probably the first one that was built start to finish on a battlefield of social media and narrative in a way that was never true before. Barack Obama certainly took advantage of social media, but it was in its infancy 8 years ago. He was on the forefront of that, and there were really no structures, groups, and infrastructure in place to challenge him on it. So he kind of had the run of the field, and he could tweet, and he had an advantage. This battle was fought with armies that had fully completed themselves. The mainstream media, so to speak, had converted to thinking they had social media dominance, and Breitbart and the sort of underground conservative media outlets had spent years sort of, figuring out how to get their message out. So this battle was contentious in a way that we've never seen before. Mostly, I think, because we had weapons that we have never had before to try and influence great swaths of people. I think that's one of the reasons why you see things like these two candidates have the lowest approval ratings in the history of whatever. I don't think you can judge their approval ratings or what people think of these two candidates against any other election in history. I think this one was different. I think the way we talk to each other is different, and how raw and immediate the ideas are. Look, we had a news cycle measured in hours. Hours. I mean, it used to be days, and then we used to talk about news cycles of weeks, let alone, 2 weeks when the Sunday talk shows or, it was, I don't know, man. It's a whole new world, and it's incredibly interesting, and I want to talk about that. And that's one of the things that herd watching is about. Now, we're not only talking about the message, because I obviously have a sort of pro-Trump, libertarian, moderate conservative, objectivist bias, but I really want to spend more time talking about the messaging as well. So even if you don't agree with my politics, even if you don't agree with my conclusions, I think there's going to be valuable discussion to be had around the tools of effectively getting your message out, or to avoid being unduly influenced by bad actors who might be trying to confuse you about reality and what their message is. Maybe your views are right and mine are wrong. And one of the ways I think we achieve getting to the right ideas is to be able to have sort of a discourse, like a courtroom where there's pro and con, and adversarial systems often arrive at reasonably good solutions. So even if you don't agree with me, I want you to have the tools to effectively convey your message so that I can hear it. And I want you to have the tools to effectively avoid being misled, because whether you agree with me or not, it's too critically important for the nature of democracy that multiple sides have the tools to speak, be heard, and not be manipulated to the extent that they can. I'm confident that my ideas will hold up. And if it turns out I'm wrong, then I'm confident that I'm capable of adjusting to some other ideas. So I don't begrudge you having the same tools and the same insights and knowledge that I have. In any case, that's what herd watching is about. We're going to be talking about the issues, but on top of that, we're going to be talking a lot about the techniques and the playing field that we're all working with these days. I hope you'll find it enjoyable. It's certainly one of the projects that's going to be gaining my time. And we're going to be doing another conversation and video really soon. So I'll see you guys. Well, I'm probably going to be filming in about 2 minutes. The next video is about the Electoral College. So if you look in the playlist, it might be there by now. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you soon.